Check one. प्रेम से समापति महादेव की जय, वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय. Let us all stand as we are about to begin this beautiful night as we join in wonderful arati to our Lord Shri Ram. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatye Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namo Namaha. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Arati Shri Ramayan Ji Ki. Arati Shri Ramayan Ji Ki. कीरति कलितल लितस्यपि की. आरती श्री रामायण. आरती श्री रामायण जी की. आरती श्री रामायण जी की. कीरति कलितल लितस्यपि की. आरती श्री रामायण. गावत ब्रह्मा गावत ब्रह्मा देख मुनि नारद बाल्मीक विज्ञान विशारद. सुख सनकादि शेष और शारद वरनि पवन सुत कीरतिनी की. आरती श्री रामायण. ओम श्री रामाय नमः. बोलो. गावत वेद गावत वेद पुराण अष्टदश चहु शास्त्र सब ग्रंथन कोरस. मुनि जन धन संतन को सरवस सारयंश सम्मत सबही की. आरती श्री रामायण. आरती श्री रामायण जी की. कलिमाला हरणी कलिमाला हरणी विषय रस पेगे. सुभग श्रृंगार मोती युवती की. फलन रोग भव मोरियमी के. तात मात सभ विधि तुलसी की. आरती श्री रामायण. आरती श्री रामायण जी की. कबलो के हमरे कबरिया हो. कबलो के हमरे कबरिया हो. बजरंग बली कबलो के हमरे कबरिया हो बजरंग बली 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 कबलों के हमरे कबरिया हो बजरंग बली कबलों के हमरे कबरिया हो बजरंग बली कलियो के कपल पीछा न चोरे रामा पीछा न चोरे कलियो के कपल पीछा न चोरे रामा पीछा न चोरे पग पग पाप की गटरिया हो पग पग पाप की गटरिया हो बजरंग बली कबलों के हमरे कबरिया हो बजरंग बली ओम श्री हनुमते नमः बजरंग बली बजरंग बली बजरंग बली बजरंग बली बजरंग बली बजरंग बली ओ बजरंग बली बजरंग बली बजरंग बली बजरंग बली बजरंग बली बजरंग बली ओ बजरंग बली बजरंग बली बजरंग बली बजरंग बली प्रेम से समापति महादेव की जय आसन लीजिए सब लोग Let's all take our seats. On this beautiful night, my dear friends, as we've come together to join with this wonderful family, we'd like to take this opportunity to welcome each and every one. We say आपको स्वागत नमस्कार करता हूँ सब लोग. To all our bhaktas, to all devotees who've come from far and near to join with the members of this wonderful family. We are here in 3 nights of devotion in this most beautiful time where we are celebrating a birthday of our wonderful mom. And while we are here tonight on this first night of prayer and devotion, we'd like to especially welcome the members of the Celestial Gandharvas, members of my wonderful group. To all bhaktas who've come to join, family members, loved ones, friends, and to each and everyone who's tuned in wherever you are in the world via Facebook, we say Swagatam Namaskar. Special welcome to our wonderful Yajna. For tonight we begin the first night of prayer, where we praise our Lord Sri Ram, Maryada Purushottam. We worship the Divine Mother, Sri Sita Maya, and we touch the feet of the gods of the heavens. At this time, without further ado, let us all sit upright. Let us forget the world. And as we join in invocation, prayer and mantras, we say, Lord, Aapko barambar pranams. With our hearts filled with devotion towards you, we prostrate at your holy feet. वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देवा सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा या देवी सर्वभूतेषु दुर्गारूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः या देवी सर्वभूतेषु लक्ष्मीरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः या देवी सर्वभूतेषु सरस्वती रूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः ॐ दुं दुर्गाय नमः ॐ दुं दुर्गाय नमः On this beautiful night, Devotees around the world will praise Durga Maya. And as we humble bhaktas have come together to worship Adi Shakti, Parashakti Mata, we invite her form, we invite her energy, and we pray for her blessing. He Ma Durga, 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 He Ma Durga. Jayante Mangala Kale Bhadrakale Kapalane Durga Kshama Shiva Datre Swaha Swadha Namostute Rupam Dehi Jayam Dehi Yasho Dehi Jasho Dehi Rupam Dehi Jayam Dehi Yasho Dehi Jasho Dehi Om Dum Durgaya Namaha Om Dum Durgaya Namaha Om Dum Durgaya Namaha. And as we begin this beautiful night, we praise our Lord. He's called Mahavir. He's called Pavan Putra. He's called Bajrang Bali. For when we chant His name and we invoke His energy, Lord, You are known as the Lord of strength and power, virtues and courage. And as we invoke You in this beautiful home in our Yajna, we only pray for Your strength, for Your guidance and Your blessing. Shri Guru Charana Saroj Raja Nijamana Mukura Sudha Varna Raghuvara Vimala Jasu Jodaya Kupalacha Buddhihina Tanu Janike Sumira Pavana Kumar Bala Buddhi Vidya Dehu Muhi Haro Kalesha Vikar Anjaneya Hanuman Jai Veera Hanuman Anjaneya Hanuman Jai Veera Hanuman Jai Veera Hanuman Anjaneya 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 Jai Veera Hanuman Anjaneya Hanuman 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 Jai Veera Hanuman Anjaneya Jai Hanuman Jnana Guna Sagar Jai Kapish Tihulok Ujagar Ramadutta Tulita Baladham Anjani Putra Pavana Sutanama Mahavira Vikaram Bajrangi Kuti Nivar Sumati Ke Sangi Kanchana Varana Viraj Suvesa Kanana Kundala Kunchake Hata Vajra Aur Dwaja Virajay Kane Moja Jane Osad Kar Suvana Kesari Nandan Did Pratapa Mahajagavandan विद्यावान गुनी अति चातुर राम काज करिबे को आतुर प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया राम लखन सीता मन बसिया जय वीर हनुमान अंजनिया हनुमान जय वीर हनुमान जय हनुमान जय वीर वीर हनुमान अंजनेय हनुमान जय वीर हनुमान अंजनेय। ओम श्री हनुमते नमः। ग्लोरीज टू महावीर स्वामी। सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा, विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा, भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे, रामचंद्र के काज सवारे, लाए सजीवन लखन जियाए, श्री रघुवीर हर्षि उर लाए, रघुपति के ने बहुत बड़ाई, तुम मम प्रिय भरतहि सम भाई, सहस वदन तुम रोज सगावे, अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावे, सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा, नारद शारद सहिता, यम कुबेर दिगपाल जहाते, कवि कोविद कहि सके कहाते, तुम उपकार सुग्रीव ही कीन्हा, राम मिलाय राज पर दीन, जय वीर हनुमान अंजनेय हनुमान जय वीर हनुमान अंजनेय हनुमान जय वीर हनुमान अंजनेय हनुमान जय वीर हनुमान अंजनेय। तुमरो मंत्र विभीषण माना, लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना, युग सहस्र योजन पर भानु, लील्यो ताहि मधुर फल जानो, प्रभु मुद्रिका मिलि मुख माहि, गदरि लांघि गए अचर जनाहि, दुर्गम काज जगत के जीते, सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हारे देते, राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे, होठ न आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे, सब कला है तुम्हारी शरणा, तुम रक्षक काहू को अजरना, आपन ते समारो आप, तीनों लोक हांक दे कापे, भूत पिशाच कट नहीं आवे, महावीर महावीर जब नाम सुनावे, जय वीर हनुमान अंजनेय हनुमान जय वीर हनुमान अंजनेय हनुमान जय वीर हनुमान अंजनेय हनुमान जय वीर हनुमान अंजनेय। नासै रोग हरै सब पीरा, जपत निरंतर हनुमत वीरा, संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावै, मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावै, सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा, जिनके काज सकल तुम साजा, और मनोरथ जो कोई लावै, सोई अमित जीवन पल पावै, चारों युग परताप तुम्हारा है, प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा, साधु संत के तुम रखवारे, असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे, अष्ट सिद्धि नवनिधि के दाता, सुबर दीन जान के माता, राम रसायन तुम्हारे पाता, सदा रहो रघुपति के दास, जय वीर हनुमान अंजनेय हनुमान जय वीर हनुमान अंजनेय हनुमान जय वीर हनुमान अंजनेय हनुमान जय वीर हनुमान अंजनेय। ओम श्री हनुमते नमः। तुमरे भजन राम को पावै, जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावै, अंत काल रघुबरपुर जाय, जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाय, और देवता चित्त न डरहि, हनुमत से सर्व सुख करहि, संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा, जो सुमिरै हनुमत बलबीरा, जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई, कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की लाय, बार पात कर कोई, चूतहि बंदी महासुख होय, जो यहाँ पर है हनुमान चालीसा, कोई सिद्धि साखी गौरीसा, तुलसी वेदा सदा हरितेरा की जयनाथ हृदय महादेव जय वीरा हनुमान अंजलिया हनुमान 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 जय वीरा हनुमान अंजलिया अंजनेया 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 हनुमान अंजनेया 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 हनुमान अंजनेया 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 हनुमान अंजनेया अंजनेया हनुमान अंजनेया अंजनेया हनुमान अंजनेया 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 हनुमान अंजनेया अंजनेया हनुमान पवन तनय संकट हरण मंगल मूर्ति रो राम लखन सीता सहित हृदय बसहो सुरभो पवन सुत हनुमान की जय बजरंग बली की जय. On this beautiful night, my dear friends, the first night of our 3 nights of beautiful Yajna, we have come together at this wonderful home to celebrate a wonderful birthday, a Janmadin, a birthday of our wonderful mother, Sheila Maya. While we are here, we're not going to tell them the age yet, right? They had to wait until the last day. So while we are here to join in this celebration, it is said in this time, many people know it to be the Kalmas time. And in Kalmas, many people believe that in this time you're not supposed to pray. It is a bad time to pray. However, in Kalmas time, it is a time that is also called the Purushottama, so a time of Lord Krishna, Lord Vishnu. And it is said in this time, it is very auspicious to chant the name of God in many different ways. When it comes to prayer and rituals and the jandi and the flags and the grand celebration or the sanskar aspect, it is not too much recommended. But in our yajna today, after Havan Puja, we have begun a wonderful night of devotion, where tonight marks the first night of our beautiful Ramayan yajna and Katha taken from the golden pages of Ramchaitra. Our Katha begins with a very beautiful chapter where Bhagwan Shri Ram, Sita Devi and Lakshmana. As we know it, at one point in Ramayan, they were sent to exile in the forest for 14 years. And while they would have started their journey, on the day in which Prabhu Ram had left Ayodhya and he was walking, before he could step into the forested path, Sita Devi says, Lord, after becoming wed and married to you, what is the use that I live in Ayodhya and you are in the forest? We were not meant to be separated, but we must live together because we have united ourselves by walking around the sacred fire and performing the sacred steps of Aviva Sanskar. Lakshmana, however, he was about to go into the forest and he turned to his Dulahin, to his wife at that point. The wife of Lakshmana was named who? You all know? Prabhu Rama's wife was called Sita Devi and Lakshmana's wife was called Urmila. Urmila was her name. It is said when Lakshmana was about to leave, she said, Lakshmana, Sita Devi is accompanying Sri Ram. Can I accompany you? And Lakshmana said at that point, he says, no, you can't. I am going to serve my Lord, and if you're there as my wife, I will have to attend to you as duties as a husband. And in turn, it will not fulfill the duty that I'm about to go into the forest, which will be to respect my Lord. So they had an agreement, and the agreement was, she says, well, it doesn't make sense that I wake and I see the world every single day, and you're the one in the forest. So let's make the agreement where I will sleep for the entire period that you will go into the forest. That is the sacrifice they're going to make. And while I will sleep for the whole period, you will wake because you're leaving me to do a duty, and your duty is to look after Prabhu. Well, make sure you look after Prabhu so much for the entire 14-year period that not for 1 second anything bad happens to him. So I want you to fulfill your duty, and in order to make this happen, we have to work together. In marriages, if people don't work together, it doesn't work out. In marriages and in relationships, when people decide that they want to do their own thing and a husband says, this is what I will do and you don't need to get involved, or the wife says, this is my part and you don't need to get involved, that is where they break up. That is where trouble comes. That is where the argument starts, because nobody wants to compromise. In any relationship, compromising is very important and powerful. Prabhu Ram says, Sita Devi, we will walk together and we will work together. Lakshmana says, we will work together, Urmila. Despite we will not be together physically, we will work together. And they decided to pray to the goddess of sleep. And they said to that goddess, Urmila will sleep for the entire period, and Lakshmana will wake for the entire period. I've always mentioned many a times that when we hear of this part of the Katha, if you have problems sleeping, there's a goddess of sleep. We have prayers for everything. We have gods for everything. If you're having trouble to sleep at night, then pray to the goddess of sleep. The goddess of sleep name is called Nidra Devi. There's a simple mantra, Om Nidraya Namaha. Simple. Om Nidraya Namaha. Or Mahashivratri comes, or Shri Krishna Janamashtami comes, and you have to wake for the entire night. Pray to Nidra Devi, Maya, I have to wake for the entire night. Can you take away my sleep for the entire night because it is an auspicious night? And then when I can fulfill that sleep, I'll pray to you to allow me to be rested. And you worship Nidra Devi. It is said, Urmila and Lakshmana, they worship Nirindra Devi and they received that blessing. And after the blessing, it is said Urmila touched the feet of her husband and she went back into the palace of Ayodhya. And Prabhu Ram, Lakshmana, Sita Devi, at that point they would now take their stroll and they would walk into the forest. Everybody from Ayodhya wants to follow them, but nobody can really go with them because where Prabhu Ram is about to go, he will have to do it on his own. We all hear this song at the very beginning when Prabhu Ram was about to leave. Listen. चोर चले आज हमारे राम अयोध्या चोर चले चोर चले आज हमारे राम अयोध्या चोर चले बनवासी बन राज दुलारे सबसे नाता तुर चले मुक मोर चले आज हमारे राम अयोध्या चोर चले चोर चले आज हमारे राम अयोध्या चोर चले It is said every single day in our lives when we leave our house to go to work, you don't know if you're going to come back. Do you know if you will? While we were preparing for the Havan, we heard cars screeching down the road. You don't know if that person would have met in an accident and never reach home. We leave to go to work sometimes and we don't know if we will return. We go to sleep at night and we don't know if we will wake up. Life is unpredictable. Every day is unpredictable. You do things according to how you want to do it, but you're never guaranteed if tomorrow will ever come. That is why everybody says, live today as it were your last. Live this moment as it were your last. And that is why you're doing the best thing that you can do. Celebrate your birthday with God. Because nobody knows what comes tomorrow or even tonight. It is said, Prabhu Rama, he will leave and he will go into the forest. He will look at his father who is holding on to the doorways of the palace of Ayodhya and the father is crying. And he doesn't know if he will ever see him again. But he will walk away and in his mind, the whole of Ayodhya looks at Prabhu Ram and they sing today, a light is about to leave. They're saying to the universe, the light of Ayodhya is leaving. Prabhu Ram, Sita Devi, Lakshmana, how will we survive without this light? चले राम का सेवक बनकर लक्ष्मण जैसा काई चले राम का सेवक बनकर लक्ष्मण जैसा काई चले जानकी बनकर अपनी प्रीतम की करनारी पशु पंछी सब का नाता मना बनाता तोर चले मुख मोर चले आज हमारे राम अयोध्या चोर चले चोर चले आज हमारे राम अयोध्या चोर चले It is said, when Prabhu Rama, he decided now to go into the forest. Everybody in Ayodhya wants to follow the Lord. But at that point, Prabhu says, you cannot follow me. This is my duty. My life has my destiny. Everybody has come in the world to do your thing, your part. You have come to perform a role, and not everybody can do what you can do. When God has put you on a path and God has put you in a destiny, it is up to Prabhu now to allow you to fulfill that destiny and according to you to do what you have to do. Not everybody can be you, but you can be who you want to be. Today, Prabhu Ram is leaving and everybody wants to cry, Ram Ayodhya chor chale. And he's leaving Ayodhya with sadness and with all the depressions of the world. बनवासी बन राज दुलारे सबसे नाता तोर चले मुकमोर चले आज हमारे राम अयोध्या चोर चले आज हमारे राम अयोध्या चोर चले आज हमारे राम अयोध्या चोर चले. That day Prabhu Rama left Ayodhya and the whole place was sad. If God leaves your life, how will you be? Can you tell what your life will be without God? If God decides to leave your life right now, what will your life be? Today, Prabhu Ram leaves Ayodhya and people start crying. People are grieving for God. People start begging, Prabhu, vapas na, come back. But the Lord will leave because He has the destiny to fulfill. He has now a life in which He must teach the world Dharma. Today, we must know that all of us have come in the world individually in the eyes of God to fulfill our destiny. And when you are on the path and you think and you know that you're doing something good and you feel as though you're fulfilling your path, it brings a good feeling to your life. Prabhu is leaving and he's going into the forest. Lakshmana, Sita Devi. Prabhu Ram feels sorry for Sita Mata because she's walking barefoot. And while she's walking barefooted, he's seeing how the rocks are and he's saying such soft feet the mother has, but yet she has to walk on this hard rock on the ground. When we were growing up, we grew up to walk barefooted, right? And while we would walk barefooted, sometimes the parents and the elders would have yelled at us because you're not supposed to walk barefoot on the ground. Do you know in some parts of India, when you walk barefoot, it is a blessing because every time you step your foot directly on the earth, you are connecting. Like electricity, you need to have a ground, right? It is said when you walk on the earth barefooted, now that doesn't mean everybody will not walk barefoot now, right? But when you walk barefooted or you take a moment in your life or you wake up from your bed and you take your feet and you touch it to the raw earth, not just probably the wood flooring or not just the concrete, but you come and you touch dirt and mud, Dharti Mata, it is said you are grounding your spiritual energy. Sometimes we need to let that energy ground. When you're doing a puja, the Pandit places a ring in your finger and he says the ring or the circle of that ring will represent the continuity of your prayer, your love and your devotion towards God. When you put your hands together, it is said the energy will flow throughout the body. When you're doing a puja and you're about to make an offering and you're about to place the offering there, you're about to do the arti, do you use one hand? The Pandit says, no, touch hand like this, you have to touch. Why? Continuity of that energy must be flowing. But while it flows throughout, where's the ground? You must ground on the earth. Today, when Prabhu Rama looks at the feet of the mother, he says earth is touching earth. But yet when he sees her feet physically, how can the mother undergo so much? An afternoon is about to dawn. And Prabhu Ram says that we are going in the depths of the forest. And while we are going in this forest, it is called the Dandaka forest. He says, Devi, it is about to become dark, but don't be scared. I am here and Lakshmana is here. So there's nothing to be worried about. But as afternoon is dawning and it's becoming dark, she's stepping into the forest and she's hearing the howling of animals. She's realizing that at some point she might hear a sound and then all the birds might fly away from one of the trees. She will then now turn and while she will look at different parts of the forest, she will feel as though she's hearing something or she's seeing a shadow. And she's becoming fearful. So she pulls a little closer to the Lord and she holds onto his hand, as a child who's scared. and she holds on to the hand and she's saying, Prabhu. And Prabhu looks at her and he could see fear. And he starts to wonder in his mind, did I do the right thing by allowing the mother to come with me into the forest? Varade, 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 Jai Jai Ma, Jai Ma, Jai Jai Ma, Jai Ma. Mother is walking on the earth and she's scared. And Prabhu looks at her and he says, Devi, why are you scared? When you become fearful of something, it makes you a better person. According to the words of Baba Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai, he says, fear of death preserves life. He says, fear of wrong maintains doing right. He says, fear of sickness maintains a good hygiene. He says, fear of misery, it makes you a righteous person. If you know that bad things will come and you fear bad things, you will not do the bad things. You will make sure and do good things. So nothing bad will happen. It is said fear is something that crawls in the heart of many people. If I ask anybody tonight, do you fear anything? What are you scared of? What do you fear? What is your most feared thought in your life? Think about it. Some people might say, well, I fear a spider. I'm scared of spiders. Some children might say, you know what, I'm scared of butterflies. Some people might say, I'm scared of a snake. How many people scared of snakes? Put up the hand. You? Nah, man. How many people scared of spiders? Frogs? Cockroach? Yeah? You afraid of everything? Many people fear so many things in the world. Death. You fear death? Death is inevitable. Things in life that you can't help, you fear. Sometimes it is good to get beyond the fear point. And maybe you don't know how to do it. You don't know how to rise above certain things. But it is said, in order to rise above fear, fill your life with worship and prayer, because fear is something that is egocentric. It is formed from the ego of oneself and within oneself. When you fear something, the ego within you is that which is compelling you to say, you know what, I know from the ego that I am bigger or better in certain things, but I fear certain things because my ego is telling me I'm scared to get a part of it. Today, Prabhu Rama, he sees fear in the eyes of the mother and he doesn't know what to say to her. But he praises her and he says, Devi, but why are you scared? You're so strong. You're so strong-minded. You're so powerful and mentally. You're so powerful when it comes to your devotion. You're such a dedicated Devi. Why are you scared? And when he starts to speak to her, today devotees, you know, I remember some people say, I asked devotees just now, are you scared of death? How many people fear death? And then I remember some people say, why fear death or why fear the dead? You must fear the living. Is that true? You fear the living more than the dead, or you fear the dead more than the living? The living? Jai Bhagwan. So if you put you in a cemetery in the middle of the night, what do you go say? Nothing. I like you. Varade, 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 Jai Jai Ma, Jai Ma, 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 Varade, Varade, Varade. Everybody bolo. सत्यमयी तू है, ज्ञानमयी तू है, सत्यमयी तू है, ज्ञानमयी तू है, प्रेममयी भी तू है, बच्चों को वर दे। जय जय माँ, जय माँ, जय माँ, जय माँ, वर दे, वर दे, वर दे, वर दे। निर्मल मन कर दे, प्रेमाटुला कर दे, निर्मल मन कर दे, प्रेमाटुला कर दे, सबकी समका देगा, ऐसा हमको वर दे। जय जय माँ, it is said Sita Mata, she's walking into the forest. And Prabhu Ram says, Devi, why are you fearful of the forest? I am here. Lakshmana is here. We have our bow and our arrows. Don't fear anything. And the mother says, but Prabhu, look over there. There are shadows over there. Look on this side. Prabhu, you don't fear anything because you are famous. You are popular in the world because you are strong and you are Bhagwan. And Prabhu looks at her and he says, Devi, he says famous and popularity has nothing to do with it in the world. He says many people have come in this world, and what they don't understand, that fame will take place one day, and the other day, the same people who will praise you is the same people who will bash you. The same people who will make you popular will be the same people who will pull you down. The same people who will laugh with you one day are the same people who will pull you down. The same people who will lift you, those are the ones who will backstab you. So then who do you trust in this world? He says, Devi, I am not about fame. I am not about being famous. I am not about being powerful. But I am Prabhu Maryada Purushottam. I am simple and I am the Lord who will teach the world how to start to grow from simplicity. सरस्वती ही तू है, महालक्ष्मी तू है, सरस्वती भी तू है, महालक्ष्मी तू है, महाकाली भी तू है, भक्त को वर दे। जय जय माँ, all together tonight. Bole. Jai Jai Ma, Jai Ma, Jai Ma, Jai Ma, Jai Jai Ma, Jai Ma, Jai Ma, Jai Ma, Jai Jai Ma, Jai Ma, Jai Jai Ma, Jai Ma, Jai Ma, Jai Ma, Jai Ma, Jai Ma. Jai Ma, Jai Ma, Jai Jai Ma, Jai Ma, Jai Jai Ma, Jai Ma, Jai Jai Ma, Jai. Varade, 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 Varade. जय जय माँ, जय माँ, जय जय माँ। जय जय माँ। वृंदावन में हरिलाल की। It is said tonight, when Sita Devi held on to the hand of Prabhu, they were walking through the forest. Night has dawned, she's scared. And after reaching a little point in the depth of the forest, suddenly they see a little ashram. And Devi says, Hare Prabhu, let us rest in the ashram a little bit. It is dark, it is night, it is late. Where will we go in this dark place? And Prabhu Rama says, okay, you know what? Let us go so that you will be comfortable. You will be in a comfort zone. He already feels sorry that he has brought her into the forest, and this is what she has to undergo. So they've gone by the ashram, and just as they're walking in the entry of the ashram, suddenly one of the gurus of the ashram turns around and he sees Prabhu Ram and immediately calls out, Hare Prabhu! Everybody who was around, all those who were taking part in the ashram, cleaning and preparing on that night, fixing for their other day of preparation, when they turned around and they saw Prabhu, immediately they dropped everything that they were doing and they ran towards Prabhu Rama. We always tell devotees that when it comes to prayer, when it comes to devotion, drop everything you're doing for God. That's what you did, right? Drop everything. I spoke to Mom about 3 days ago, and Mom saying, well, I don't know, you think this thing will happen? And I said, Mom, here's what? Let it be. Everything falls in place as it is supposed to be for God. Sometimes you have to drop everything and make it happen or let it happen. You are not here by guess tonight. Nobody came here tonight by guess. God wills you to be here. God wants you to be here. Bhagwan will allow you to be where you have to be. If you were not meant to be here to hear the name of Prabhu or to chant or to sing or to even walk on holy grounds, and I call this holy grounds because wherever the name of God is chanted, that place becomes holy and lifted. That spot, my friends, becomes holy. If you were not blessed to be here, you won't have been here. While God will allow it to happen, you have to make the extra effort for it to be. One step towards God, and He will make 1,000 towards you. Today on our katha, Prabhu Ram, he's entering. And just as Sita Mata was now saying, Prabhu, you are popular and famous in the world. You're not scared of anything. Immediately one of the gurus walk up to Prabhu and he says, Prabhu, you here, yaha? You are known as one of the most famous Prabhu Shri Ramachandra in the world. And he hear it a second time again. Sometimes we may be good at something. Sometimes people may be good at particular things in their life, at a job. Maybe at a position in your life, or a position in your job, or something good that they do. And people are always like, it's always nice to acknowledge people when they do something good. But like we always say, even when you hear praise, never get swell-headed. Because when you get swell-headed, sometimes you might think you start to float. Remember, you might be good at your job, or good in your home, or do something nice, and people will praise you. But when you go up and you step up at that ladder, there are responsibilities to remain at that pedestal. And if you don't keep up with the responsibilities, then like we say, after you go up is where? Right back down. Simplicity and humility will keep you at that pedestal. If you want to remain at the highest peak of devotion in your life, prayer, devotion, simplicity, humility will keep you there. And who will guide you? The Guru ran up to Prabhu Ramachandra and he dropped at his knees and he said, Prabhu, you are popular and famous. Sita Mata, she looked at Prabhu and she says, okay, come, let's eat something. We are tired. The Guru is about to welcome them. And they're about to partake of something. Prabhu Rami wants to continue with his journey, but they're begging, Prabhu, relax now. Stay back for at least one night and tomorrow you'll continue. It's a dark night. And Sita Devi is like this, yeah, Prabhu, dark night. It's scary outside there. She doesn't want to go back in the forest. It's dark. And Prabhu says, okay, for Sita Devi, we will stay the night. But while they're about to stay the night, listen what is about to happen. Sita Mata is about to get a little room for herself. And as she's about to lie down in the room, Prabhu Ramachandra, he is now not too far from her and he's lying down next to her. She says, I feel tired, not because of the forest or not because of the walk, but I feel somewhat tired. And while she feels tired, Prabhu Ram says, but we haven't eaten properly as yet, but yet I feel, slightly heavy. Something, doesn't feel right. Have you ever stepped into a place and say, what, something doesn't feel right? Have you ever walked in a home, go in your job, maybe go to a place anywhere, and you just walk in and the minute you step in there, you realize your energy just drops and everything feels heavy and you just want to get out of there? Adesh, you know what? At that point, what do? Some people come to the Pandit and say, you know what, Pandit, I don't know, but my home feels heavy. What do? I feel my job feels somewhat heavy. I don't know what to do. Something feels uneasy in my home. Probably I'm walking into a particular place and something feels not right. What should I do? What should you do? What do you do? You know what people say? Somebody do me something. As soon as the place feels heavy, somebody do me something. As soon as you don't feel right, somebody walk in something. Prabhu Rama looks at Sita Devi. Ramayan says, he says, Devi, how do you feel? She says, I feel heavy, I feel drained. I feel the atmosphere feels clogged. I feel as though I'm stifling in the atmosphere. And Prabhu Ram says, Nama Sankirtana. Many people look for many remedies. Make a little something. Go by the Pandit line, make something and put it in your house. Let me try to wash down the place with something. All that is well and good. Physical things will always help lift the energy. But it starts with you first. Because if you fix you, you will fix the place. If you feel the place is uneasy and you feel the place is heavy, it doesn't mean it is only the place. You fix you. It may be your mentality. It may be your thoughts towards it. Prabhu Ram looked at Devi and he says, I feel the heaviness also in the atmosphere. But Devi, I feel that you feel it more because you don't want to go back into the forest. I feel that you feel it more because you've brought that energy of fear with you. And fear can create an aura that can allow you to be dampened. Worries and stress can dampen you. Negativities from people's stress or negativities from a job can dampen your spirit. And when you walk into a place, that will dull the whole place. Sometimes we are walking around with a bag of negative energy. And if we don't fix that energy, then you won't be able to fix the space and the place around you. You want to fix your energy or the place or your house or your job, you start with the right attitude. The attitude towards any situation will change the whole place. Let me ask you, if you're going to work and you're in your mind is heavy, you don't want to go to work. Maybe because you're going to have a fight with a worker or the boss or something will not happen. What attitude will you take with you to your job? In your mind, the minute you get up, oh God, I have to go back to that place again. I don't want to see them. I hope they don't have nothing to say today. And you go with the attitude of that negativity. When you go there, the entire place will seem somewhat drained because you've come with that and you've planted that. But if you go with the attitude of, you know what, whatever comes today, I'm ready for them. I will fight it and I will make it do. I will make it be. The attitude of goodness, then you will be successful. Today, Prabhu Ram, he says, I feel the heaviness, but despite I am Prabhu Rama, I wonder what we will do to cleanse ourselves. Prabhu Ram gets up and he goes now to the Guru. And when he goes by the Guru, he says, Gurudev, I feel something is not right. Is something wrong with this place? And the Guru takes the hand of Prabhu Ram and he says, Avana, come. He says, come. He takes him to a Shivala where there's a little Shivlingam. And he says, Prabhu, you are Maryada Purushottam. The world is looking at you, but while the world looks at you, they are prying negative energy at you. Because sometimes when people see you and you're standing on a high light, people will want to be like you and they will try to be you. And when they can't be you, they will then try to pull you down. And while the world speaks of Prabhu Ram, there are many who will not like the name Sri Ram. Later in Ramayan, you will realize that Ravana has become an enemy because even Sri Ram has an enemy, which is Ravana. But today when Prabhu Rama, he looks at the Shivala, he puts his hands together and he says, don't worry, I will pray and I will clear the energy of the ashram and I will start with me first. And he prays for Sita Devi and he prays for Lakshmana. And while they will pray, listen. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurudevo Maheshwaraha, Gurur Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. It is always good to associate with the Guru. It is always good ever so often to just come in contact with the holy ones. You don't need to pray and say a mantra when you're next to them, but sometimes just to be in their ambience and their energy, that energy in itself will transform you. It is always good to sometimes just connect with these spiritual people. Listen as the bhajan says. मोहे लागे रे लगन गुरु चरणन के, मोहे लागे रे लगन गुरु चरणन के, मोहे लागे रे लगन गुरु चरणन के। चरण बिना मुझे कछु नहीं भावे, ज्योति माया सब सपनान की। चरण बिना मुझे कछु नहीं भावे, ज्योति माया सब सपनान की। मोहे लागी रे लगन गुरु चरणन की, मोहे लागी। हरि भव सागर सब सुख गया है, गण ही मुझे शरणन की। भव सागर सब सुख गया है, बिगड़ नहीं मोहे शरणन के। मोहे लागे रे लगन गुरु शरणन के। मोहे मीरा के प्रभु गिरिधर नागर, उलत बाए मोहे नयनान की। मीरा के प्रभु गिरिधर नागर, उलत बये मोहे नयनान की। मोहे लागी रे लगन गुरु चरणन की। मोहे लागी रे लगन गुरु चरणन की। मोहे लागी रे लगन गुरु। वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की। अखंड मंडलाकारं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं, तत्परं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानजनशलाकया, चक्षुर्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। ओम श्री गुरवे नमः। ओंकारं बाबा ओंकारं Omkaram Baba, Omkaram Baba, Om Namo Baba, Omkaram Baba, Omkaram Baba, Omkaram Baba, Omkaram Baba, Om Namo Baba. Guru Maharaj, Guru Jai Jai, Guru Maharaj, Guru Jai Jai, Sai Nath Sadguru Jai Jai Satya, Sai Nath Sadguru Jai Jai, Manas Bhajre Guru Charanam, Dostar Bhavasagar Taranam, Dostar Bhavasagar Taranam, Dostar Bhavasagar. Shri Vrindavan mein Hari Lalla ki Jai. It is said Prabhu Rama, after taking blessings of Lord Shiva, he started to feel his energy lifting. Lord Shiva is known to be the destroyer of all negativities. If you are ever going through problems in your life or feeling some form of negativity in your home, in your life, in your job, pray to Mahadev. Chant his name. Make an offering. Offer jal. When last did you offer jal? When last did you take a mala and do jap? When last did you say Om Namah Shivaya? When last did you simply pray? People want miracles to happen, but they want it to happen like this. They expect no prayer, no mantra. And if you tell them say a prayer or you tell them to do some form of devotion, well, yeah, Pandaji, we make an offering of dhar last month sometime, we offer dhar. And we want miracles to happen. We want to pray one day in the year and say, well, I do a big puja and I put up 20 jandi. Bhagwan's supposed to hear my prayer now. Prayer, my friends, must be something that is persistent. It must be something that is reoccurring in our life. Prayer must be something that is a part of our daily schedule. Make time, just like you make time to watch TV, just like you make time to go on Facebook, just like you make time to go on your phone or play a game or do something, prayer must be a part of your daily life. Make time. There should never be an excuse, well, I was busy today. There should never be an excuse, well, what the job is. The job is, demanding. Make time for your God and your God will bless you. Today in our scripture, Prabhu Rama, he feels re-energized and he decides to leave and he goes towards Sita Devi and they decided to take that night and rest and they lay down and they rested comfortable. But while they're resting now, it is said early morning they're about to leave and they take blessings of the Gurus and they touch the feet of the holy ones and the Guru will bless them. Even though he is Lord of the universe, he will prostrate and show his humility and he will touch the feet of the Gurus and he's about to leave the ashram. And he now makes a promise to the Guru there. He says, on my journey, I've come in the forest and I will not neglect the ashrams. I will go to every ashram and to every Guru I see. I will perform pilgrimage and I will take blessing. It is very auspicious in our lives to do pilgrimage. Long ago, people used to do pilgrimage, not anymore. Long ago, people used to go temple hopping, not anymore. Long ago, people will take one day and say, you know what, if it means going to the beach self, we go to one spot, but we walk with flowers, and we walk with rice, and we put coins, and we put a supari, and we say we are going on a pilgrimage, a tirat, and we're going to do devotion. Take time in your life to go sometimes the extra mile just to say a prayer or to make an offering, because going the extra mile and putting the little effort to do that can create miracles in your life. Prabhu Ram leaves, and while he's leaving, and he's entered the depths of the Dandaka forest, it is said the trees have covered the path. Sita Devi is walking. It is daytime. It is a bright day. But at the same time, the trees have covered the paths of the forest. And while they're walking, it's slightly dark here and there. When suddenly Sita Mata, she is now addressed as she hears the sound of someone. And she holds on to Prabhu. And she turns around and she says, Prabhu, I don't know why I'm scared of this forest. But every time I walk in this forest, I become scared. I don't know what is there, but I become scared. And Prabhu holds on to her hand and he says, Devi, no need to be scared. And they're walking into the forest now. And while they're walking, it is said from behind one huge rock, It is said they see this tall, fierce-looking person coming from behind that rock. And as soon as he comes out, his face is hideous. He is a Rakshasa by birth. And being a Rakshasa, he has come to stop and to block the path of the Divine Lord. It is said in life, when you try to step up and to do good things and you are blocked by certain energies or certain people, those are the Rakshasas coming to stop you. When you can't feel happiness and joy, those are the Rakshasas or the Ravans coming to stop you. And this Rakshasa came in front of them and says immediately, I am Virad. And as Virad, I have come to stop you. I haven't eaten in a long time. And when I see three people who is walking and you're wearing the orange robe, I can tell that you know nothing about this forest. It's either you run or you'll become my dinner today. And Prabhu Ram looks at this Rakshasa and he looks at Lakshmana and he says, Lakshmana, get rid of him immediately. Lakshmana takes an arrow and he mounts it on a bow and he aims now at the body of this Rakshasa. And when he aims at the body, he releases an arrow. And when the arrow goes in mid-air and it strikes at the heart of this Rakshasa, it just falls off the body and it stops right there. And Lakshmana says, but wait a minute, my arrow couldn't pierce him. Prabhu Ram took an arrow and he said a prayer and he shot at the Rakshasa. The arrow multiplied in tens. And it hit at the body of the Rakshasa. And it hit and it fell off as though it could not even harm this Rakshasa. And the Rakshasa started to laugh and he says, foolish man, don't you know I am Virad? And I have been blessed that no weapon could harm me. Your weapons are of no use to me. And while he stands there, he stretches his hands and he grabs Sita Devi Mata. It is said he holds on to the Mata and he lifts her into the air. And Prabhu Ram, with a firm voice, he stops right there and he says, if you don't want to end your life today, then I will tell you, put back what is not yours. Devi belongs to me and she doesn't belong to you. And if you don't put her back, you will have to pay for the consequences. Vrindavan mein Hari Lalla ki jai. How many times in this world people take what is not theirs? What happens as a result of that? As a child growing up, parents will always teach you, never take what is not yours. When you're growing up, if you take something that is not yours, you get what? Licks. You get blows. And you grow up knowing not to do that again. When you grow up knowing that you shouldn't interfere with something probably in the house or in the kitchen for the rest of your life, the next time you see that thing, nah boy, leave that right there. Otherwise it's licks. In life, our parents would have taught us as children, you don't do the wrong things in life. You don't follow a certain path. You don't do certain things. For example, today I was having a discussion with somebody and I was speaking about, when you're growing up, if you see two big people talking, you never stay there. If two big people talking and a child stand up there, what you have to do? Yeah, you go in your room or you go find something to do. Otherwise, you feel the belt. You grow up with certain values and even as a big person now, the next time you see two people talking, you stand up one side, even though you're big now and you're waiting, excuse me. You understand certain things are now conditions that you live by. Today, Prabhu Rama says, do not take what is not yours. You have lifted Sita and Sita Mata starts to cry out, Prabhu. She's begging. And Prabhu says, Rakshasa, if you don't want to end your life today, give back what is not yours. Do not take what is not yours. When you take what is not yours in the world, you will have a karma to face. You will have to repay back debts in the world. Sometimes people borrow. Be careful when you speak sometimes because your words can be, as we say, the English language is funny. Sometimes you go by the neighbor and say, I can borrow some salt. You ever give them back? Sometimes you run out of probably a aloo or probably a little flour or something and you go by your neighbor and you say, I could get aloo borrow, I'll give it back. You ever give them back? Sometimes we see something, we go by a family member house and we like something that we see on their table or something. This real nice. I could borrow it. I have a function coming up. I see you have a nice little murti. I could borrow it. You ever get it back? Sometimes people see you have a nice book with probably certain things. A book with some songs. Or with some nice information. There's a nice book you have. I could borrow it. You ever get it back? Or maybe somebody wants to borrow a piece of clothes from you, that shoe, a real nice shoe, I have a wedding next week. I could borrow it. You get back? After that gone. Be careful how you speak, because when you say things, according to your deeds and your karma, you will have to come back to pay for it. Do you know every word that is said and every debt that is unpaid, when you die, you have to pay for it, If you are living the best life in the world and you pray to Prabhu and you worship God 99% in your life, and in your life now you just have 1% again because you have to reach God and you will never come back in the world and live the best life ever, and you borrow $5 from somebody and you say, I'll borrow it, I'll give it back, and you never give them back because of one little debt, you will have to come back in this world again and live this whole life to repay it. A debt can hold you back from everything that you want. And we say just money. It could be anything. Like we say, it could be some salt. You could be living a holy life, give up all the worldly things and go in India and just live on the Himalayas, and you pray to God and God says, you know what, 99% you're ready to come to me, but one thing you did in your life, you didn't give them back the salt and you said you was borrowing it. And for that one thing, you have to come back here. Never live with debts in your life. Sometimes people borrow money. Sometimes people borrow things from our home. Sometimes people borrow, like we're saying, I borrow. And maybe one day something happens and God forbid you die. If you had lived a good life and you were not supposed to come back, because of that one debt, you will have to come back. Do not live with debts in your life. Do not take what is not yours. Do not borrow if you're not giving back. Don't say I borrow. Ask for it. Could I get it, please? I want some salt. I want an aloo. I like that shoe. Can I have it, please? Don't say borrow, because your words will put you in trouble. Be careful what you say. Today, Prabhu Rama looks at the Rakshas and he says, look at you. You're holding on to Sita Devi and she belongs to me, not you. Be careful. You're owning or you're holding what is not yours. And at that point, it is said, Lakshmana, he looks at Prabhu and he says, Prabhu, we have to do what we have to do now. Being that he has taken what is not his, we will have to destroy him. Shri Ram, Shri Ram, Shri Ram, Shri Ram, Shri Ramachandra Kripalu Bhajo Mana Arnabhava Vaidharunam Navakandalochana Kanjamukapar Kanjapara Kanjarunam Shri Ram Ram Shri Ram Hanuman. Kandarpa aganita amita chabinava nila nirada sundaram patapita manahu tarute ruchi suchi nami janaka sutavaram Shri Ram Ram Shri Ram Hanuman. Everybody follow. Bhaju dina बन्धु दिनेश दानव दैत्यवंशनि खण्डनं रघुनन्दनलकण्डकोशल चन्द दशरथनन्दनं श्रीराम राम श्रीराम हनुमान। क्या बात हो। सिर मुकुट कुंडल तिलक चारु उदार अंग विभूषणम् आजानु भुज सरचापधर संग्राम जित कर दूषणम् श्रीराम राम श्रीराम हनुमान। वदते तुलसीदास शंकर शेष मुनि जनरंजनम मम हृदय कंज निवास कुरु कामारि कलदल गंजनम श्रीराम राम श्रीराम राम राम। ओम श्री रामाय नमः। ओम श्री रामाय नमः। ओम श्री रामाय नमः। वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय। It is said when Prabhu Ramachandra he saw what was happening with the Rakshasa, at that point Sita Mata was captured by this Rakshas. Prabhu Ram, he decided at this point, if I cannot destroy you with weapons, it is said he walked up to the Rakshasa, Lakshman on one end and he on the other. And what would they do? It is said they will go to the arms of the Rakshasa and they will start to say prayer and they will say mantras. And they will take their arrows now and with the mantras, they can't kill him, but they will take mantras and they will try to now to cut off his arms on both ends. And with mantras and with the arrows, it is said, Ramaye Ramabhadraye Ramachandraye Vedase Raghunataya Nathaya Sitaye Pataye Namaha. It is said with mantras, they were able to cut the both arms of the Rakshasa. And immediately as the arms were cut and it will fall to the earth, Sita Devi Mata, she will be released. And she will run to the feet of her Lord and she will embrace him. And while she will embrace Prabhu Rama, he will look at the Rakshasa. And the Rakshasa will look at him and smile and say, today I've seen what I had to see. He says, Prabhu, I've understood that you're no normal man and you're no mere mortal. But today I've seen that you are Lord of the entire universe. He says, do you know who I am? He says, I am a Rakshasa today, but I was once a Gandharva. He says, one day I took my same hands and I played music for the gods. One day I took my hands and I prayed to the gods. And out of disrespect to the devatas, I was cursed and I was shrapped. And I remained the way I am. And today that is why I've become in this state, the state of a Rakshasa. Let me ask you something. When you're growing up and you're playing with your younger brothers and sisters or your niece and your nephew and son, you'll ever remember showing them monkey face? Even when you're big now, right? When Carnival comments, sometimes people tell you, well, but you have to dress up. You're natural. When you were small, you used to tease people. This Gandharva, one day, in the skies, may know which one of these Gandharva, but one of them. In the skies, it is said they saw one guru passing by. And everybody paid their respect. Pranams Gurudev, Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, and they were paying their respect. And this Gandharva thought that he had known this Guru so good that, you know what? I don't need to say Namaskar and Guru Brahma and so on. So he looked at him and he says, Gurudev, how do you look like that? And Guru says, how I'm looking? And he teased him. I don't want to show you the monkey face because I don't have that. But he teased him that day. And when he teased him, the Guru felt upset to a point. He says, you know what? You will remain just like that. When sometimes the little children playing pranks at you and they show you monkey face, sometimes you tease them and you tell them, you go stage or so. The Guru looked at him and he says, you will remain just like that. As a matter of fact, you will look more hideous than you're looking now, and I will send you to the earth and you will remain like that for years. And he started to beg, please don't let me live like this. I was only playing around. Please forgive me. And when he begged, the Guru said, I can't take back my word that I've put on you, but I will tell you that one day you will be saved when the Lord takes an incarnation and he comes to the earth and he destroys your arms. You will know that he is the Lord who has taken incarnation, and at that point you will be relieved of your curse and your shrap. That day while he's standing here, he's remembering everything and he says, Prabhu, today I didn't mean to cause you harm, but this body that I have been given, it allowed me and it lured me to become who I am. Sometimes people do bad things and they do bad actions, and you know what they say? I didn't mean to do it, my body just did it. I just happened to say it. I don't know, I went and I wasn't going to do that, but I just happened to do it. Nothing just happens by guess. You are the person who is in control of who you are. And even though sometimes you may think that people do wrong things to you, and some people say, you know what, sorry, I didn't mean to really do it, You are the only one who can stop what you want to do or what you don't want to do. You are the only person who is in charge of this body, this vessel, to say, you know what, I'm not going to do it and I will not say it. And if you're compelled by people or situations or something to do what you don't want to do, then you can't blame nobody else but you. Today, the Rakshasa says, I can't beg for forgiveness because I've done something wrong. But Prabhu, please bless me from this point. And he drops on his knees. And it said the soul comes out of the body. And when the soul leaves, Sita Mata sees a Gandharva. And the Gandharva is about to return to the skies and to the heavens. And while the Gandharva at that point will start going above, Sita Devi Mata turns to Prabhu and says, Prabhu, we have now helped one soul, but we must continue our journey. And while we will do so, Prabhu, please tell me, how much more will you go in the forest and destroy Rakshasas and kill all the demons? And isn't it that we've come in the forest to do something good, to go on a pilgrimage? And Prabhu Ramachandra sat down with her and he says, Devi, I have given my word to my father that I will come to the forest and I will do good. But when I see unrighteousness, I will not stand up and tolerate unrighteousness. Always stand up for the right thing. Sometimes people won't like you for that, but always stand up for the right thing. Because as we say, truth will set you free. Listen finally tonight. Shri Ram Jai Rama, Jai Jai Rama. Shri Ram Jai Rama, Jai Jai Rama. Shri Ram Jai Rama, Jai Jai Rama. Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama. Everybody bolo. Navarashala bala vemala umala sohake har ko लगी को हो भगवान अस बारे चलहि नाद चलत वर बारे श्री राम जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम राम जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम ओ श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम. Prabhu Ram says, Devi, it is time now that we must go further. And they're about to walk further now. And while they're walking further into the forest, they've crossed the forested path. They were known to be the forest dwellers at that point. They have left the forested region. And now they're about to reach the waters. And who will they meet by the waters? We've heard of Kewat. They're about to meet Kewat. And they will find out the essence of true devotion when they meet such a soul. But while they're walking out of the forest, Devi turns back and she looks at the depths of the forest and the darkness. And Prabhu smiles at her. And he wondered for a second, did I make a mistake in bringing you into the forest? Did I make a mistake in allowing you to follow me? Because I now have to undergo so much of the tormentations of the forest. You are fearful, the ground is hard. I don't know what I will eat, much less for what you will eat. The sacrifice now that I will have to undergo to make sure that you are okay. But while he goes hand in hand, he looks at Sita Devi and he says that we took a vow together around the sacred fire. And today I will tell you that we will walk together as one and we will make it happen. Remember, in the marriages and in the relationships, if you don't work as one, you will never make it out. If you think that you want to be biased and you want to be one-sided and you do one thing and the other person do one thing, it won't work out. But it will have to be compromises, sacrifices, and working as one unit. And it is the only way that it will work. Shri Gajananda Swami ki Jai. Tomorrow we'll continue with our katha. But at this time, as we do conclude, let us all stand for beautiful arati. आरती श्री राम मायन जे की रमायन जे की किराती कलित लित सियपी की आरती श्री राम मायन जे की रमायन जे की किरति कलितल प्रियत सियपि हो शारद सुखसनकादि शेषारो शारद शेषारो शारद परनि पवन सुत कीरतिनी हो गावत वीर पुराण अष्टदश गावत वीर पुराण अष्टदश सहस्र सब ग्रंथ न कोरस निजन धन संतन को सरवस तन को सरवस कारयं च सम्मत सबहि हो तुम बरे वीर बलवान महावीर बजरंगी तुम बरे वीर बलवान महावीर बजरंगी मैं धरो तिहारो ध्यान महावीर बजरंगी मैं धरो तिहारो ध्यान महावीर बजरंगी पवन पुत्र अंजनी दुलारे रघुनंदन के प्राण पियारे पवन पुत्र अंजनी दुलारे रघुनंदन के प्राण पियारे जय 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 हनुमान जय 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 हनुमान महावीर बजरंगी तुम बरे वीर बलवान महावीर बजरंगी मैं धरो तिहारो ध्यान महावीर बजरंगी महावीर बजरंगी महावीर बजरंगी महावीर बजरंगी महावीर बजरंगी त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव ॐ शान्ति 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 हरि ओम श्री हनुमान जय हनुमान जय जय कपिबल बहुबलवान श्री हनुमान जय हनुमान जय जय कपिवर बहुबलवान श्री हनुमान जय हनुमान जय जय कपिवर बहुबलवान श्री हनुमान अमित पराक्रम मारुति नामा अमित अमित पराक्रम मारुति नामा अजित महाकृति अति सुखधाम अजित महाकृति शोक विनाशन चतुरा सीता शोक शोक विनाशन चतुरा सुंदर शुभकर जयंकरा सुंदर शुभकर जयंकरा श्री हनुमान जय हनुमान जय जय कपीवर बहुबलवान श्री हनुमान जय हनुमान जय जय कपीवर बहुबलवान 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 बहुबलवान। ओम श्री हनुमते नमः। ओम श्री हनुमते नमः। ओम श्री हनुमते नमः। ओम श्री हनुमते नमः। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम। वृंदावन में हरिलाल की जय। उमापति महादेव की जय। पवन सुत हनुमान की। सत्य सनातन